Hello and welcome to Frank's School. What a difference. Now I'm wearing a sweater. I had to build a fire last night because the weather changed that much. It'll get hot again soon, I'm sure. Well, this day I'm going to put two more videos on, the 16th day of the third year. And I don't know what you'll think of them. It's almost hard for me to imagine somebody watching them. I studied them. It's just what I wanted, and I've got it. I've got it on film. One of my purposes in going to Portugal was to take a close look at the way they farm in part of Portugal called Minho, the northernmost, poorest part of Portugal. It's called polyculture when they grow many crops in a small area. I've spoken about this before. Well, this was the day that I devoted and Shirley helped me to do this, to drive around Minho, specifically to get in among those farms if we could. If you wanted to try to find our route, well, we went to Bom Jesus do Monte, and then we headed up the river. And we crossed the river at Ponte de Porto, or near there, I think. And I could maybe say that when you see in the early part where we're going down, and you can see that lake off on the side. Actually, with that in mind, I think maybe it was further up. It might have been further up that river than Ponte de Porto, maybe, that we were. But anyway, when you can see, at first, I think we started down and came out, and started down, came out, and maybe only on the third time did we really believe that that's where the road went. We thought we were going down someone's driveway. And you'll see that the rainy day, you'll hear the windshield wiper going, and and of course Shirley had to concentrate on the driving. Well, anyway, we made our destination Caldelas, and when you survey and you just kind of, there's a term plunge a line when a surveyor just shoots off in a direction to see where he's going to come. Well, in a sense, that's what we did. We plunged a line from where we were to that town, and that took us up over a mountain, and not a high mountain, but over a mountain and down. I'm sorry that you see the dashboard so much of the time. Shirley at one point told me, she said, "You're filming too much of the dashboard." I knew, but it was hard to do anyway because there were walls. I mean, a lot of these are walled quintais. It's typical that they would have walls, and there wasn't that much to be able to see through there. So anyway, I'm sorry, but it suits me what I have, and I would say pause. When I watched this the last time, I had the pointer right on, or the cursor right on the pause button, and I paused so I could look at how those farms were for study. That's what I wanted to do. Now it was trying. It was hard for Shirley. It was hard driving, and she was worried that we were in fact lost. At one point the road became a dirt road. Now she had her UPS unit, and if it found the quickest way, it would have taken us out onto the highways. We had it find the shortest way, and with one exception, we followed that. Well, it became a dirt road, and motorcycles went by us going the other direction, and we didn't know. We thought it might be a logging road, it might just stop. We didn't know. But then we finally saw a church, and we came back down off the mountain. At one point, you'll hear the emergency brake in the car, and if I'm not mistaken, you'll hear Shirley say "mach," which means go ahead, do it. She's threatened to make me drive. Well, that would have been a disaster, and she knew it. But it was hard driving, and she was so unsure. Up there on the mountain, you'll see what I suggest is derelict high summer pasture. That those mountaintops, I suspect, were once pastured, and they're derelict because of the economy. I had talked about that before. They're not used like they once were. At a certain point, we go by a hotel, and I thought I'd write that for you, Grande Hotel da Bella Vista. I'm not sure the city. It's pretty close to Caldelas by that time. Uh, if I were to ever go back, and I would like to go back, I would be very tempted to go and stay in that hotel, especially if it's not really expensive. I don't know. I thought, well, I'll just mark it because that was right in the area that I wanted to be filming and studying. What would have been finest of all would be to be walking, not in a car at all, but walking down through those farms. I think to myself, I've thought to myself a lot, what must that look like at harvest time in August? This was May. This was late May, and the fields were gotten ready, but there hadn't been much harvest yet. That whole place must be like a huge garden, above and below, because of the polyculture. I mean, it's not just a garden here. The grapevines are over, the trees are over, they're all mixed in. Already it was like a wonderland to me, but I think to myself, boy, on a sunny day in August, it must be something. And I've said to myself, maybe the world should look like that. If farming were done not with, well, without high use of kilocalories, I mean, if it were being farmed by hand, this kilocalories, this currency, that if it could be done that way. Now the land is rich and they have enough water, but I don't know. I'm not being very eloquent, but and I really don't know what you'll think if you watch these two videos. But that absolutely met my purpose. And there's more, because when we get back to Braga, you'll see this tomorrow. When we get back to Braga, we managed to make it to that garden that is there for children to see how their gardening is done. So I'm very satisfied with these videos. I don't know what you'll think. Okay, well, that's it for today.